Hey there, I'm Jan from Pocket Virtuality, and today I'm gonna take you through the settings of our Fata Morgana Voyager app. Let's get started. The settings can be found in the Voyager main menu. To open it, simply click anywhere while the Voyager app is running. If you're not sure how to do this, watch our previous video where I cover the basics. Once you've opened the settings, you might notice that it's split into more basic and a more advanced part. So let's start with the basics. The first setting box sets the navigation preferences. It's set to navigate to the closest active checkpoint by default, which means the HoloLens will navigate you only to those checkpoints that have the navigation option turned on. You can also make the HoloLens guide you to the nearest checkpoint, or to none at all. The option is yours. The second setting box controls, well, the remote control. Or more specifically, the way the HoloLens joins sessions. It's set to prompt by default, which means the HoloLens will always ask before joining a session. Speaking of joining sessions, we have a great video here explaining how to do that. But back to the remote control. You can change it to enable, which always joins the session automatically, or to disable if you don't want to join any session at all. Next, let's talk about markers. As you might have learned from our previous video, the markers are scanned once per session, and then, if you need to recalibrate them, you have to do it manually. Well, that's not entirely true. As you can see, it's an option that is enabled by default. But if you want to scan for arrow markers all the time, you can turn it off. Just keep in mind that this might reduce accuracy on some models. Also, there's a tiny button to rescan Oracle manually next to that option. Privacy is also very important, and that's why we've included an option to manually turn off collection of meshes. This might come in handy when you don't want the person using the Fata Morgana Studio to see the environment around you. You can enable or disable this option anytime you want, even during sessions. And the last setting box from the general setting category lets you filter the feed messages. You can receive all messages by default, but you can turn off the system messages or all messages if you want to. Now let's talk advanced settings, of which there are 3. The first one increases the rate at which photos are taken. This can be helpful, but keep in mind that it can also lead to overheating. The second one enables the regular localization updates of the text string photos. It should be on by default and you shouldn't have to change it. And the last option is called Stats for Nerds, because it contains all the stats nerds might want and need. All the stats will be displayed in the lower left corner of your vision if you turn this option on. There's also your IP address and a button to reset the settings if you ever need to do so. And when you're happy with what you have selected, just press the OK button and your settings will be saved. Simple as that. And that's everything you need to know about settings in Fata Morgana Voyager. If you have any questions, as always, ask down below in the comments and I'll make sure personally to answer every single one of them. So, until next time, happy teleporting!